One of the things that I've been meaning to do is digitalise some tapes from the late 90s, and if you've never seen a cassette before, this is what I'm talking about. Now, I worked out how to do this. It's not too complicated, but it does depend on what you've got set up wise. I'll also give you an idea what software that I'll be using as well as the cable. If you're lucky, you may actually have one of these. As you can see, I have got 2 tape decks here. Okay, we're just going to have a look at the back of the HIFI. I'm not going to go into too much detail because you'll be in a situation where you'll be thinking, actually, this is really boring and you're confusing me. So I'll try not to. This is the bit that we're interested in, and that's labelled DCC. That means Digital Compact Cassette. That's what that stands for. And you'll see that we've got red and white, and then again red and white. So you'll be thinking, what is this? If you run your eyes across, you'll see there's an L there, and doing the red, you'll see there is an R. The way I remember it is R is for red, which is right, which is the right channel, and this is left, which is your left channels up here. So what I want to do is I actually want to take whatever's in the HIFI and take it to another device that's going to be recording it. So I need an output. So this is your left and your right. One thing you'll need to buy, and it's very cheap, it's from Amazon, you can buy it for about 3 or 4 quid, but you will definitely need one of these. What it is a 3.5mm stereo jack. And you've got your left and your right here, and you've got a jack here, and then male. So if anyone asks you, you need to do male to male. So this is what they look like. And I'll put a link in the description if it makes it easier for you. But the other important thing is, if you look here, you need to have 2 rings. What we've got is, before we do that, what you'll see is we've got record and we've got play. Record out and play, which is in. What we want to do is take whatever's playing from this machine goes into our laptop. So we need out. And as you can see, there's a big clue there, it says record. So to record, we're going out of this unit. We're going to put the red in, which is the right channel, and we're going to do the black, which is white. So sometimes you will get these which are a white colour, sometimes they're black. Okay, so that's in there now, and that should do it. Double check that's pushed in. And then what we'll do is we will follow the cable all the way down, and this will go into the laptop. If you can see that. Okay, that is going into the laptop. And you're probably wondering, what hole do I put that in? That is where your headphones or your microphone might go in. So this is the software that I found. It's completely free, and that is down to the fact that it's open source. And if you look in the corner, you can see what it's called. It's called Audacity, and it's quite easy to find. I will put the link in the description so you can easily find it. I don't know if it will work for Mac, but this definitely works for Windows. So let's go to audio setup. Now what you've got here is these are the main important ones. Now this is what I've got mine set up as. Windows Direct Sound, your playback, which is very important, which is the speakers from the actual laptop that I can hear. Recording device, I've got a couple of different options. I've gone for primary sound driver, which is on there, and then the channels I've gone for stereo, and then this is the important bit, the audio settings. Now one thing I did find was with the default it was at 32-bit. Try changing that to 16-bit, and also I think it might have been 4800. Try dropping that down to 44100, which is the sample rate. So one thing I'll say is have a look at the way your computer's actually set up as well. So you'll look for settings, and under settings you will look for sound or audio. And what we've got here, we've got output and we've got input. Now output would be your typical thing where you'd hear what's coming out of the laptop. So when you're playing it back after you've recorded it. So that's one thing not too bothered about. But this is the important bit. This is the input. This is how you set it up. Now, I don't know how much of an influence this is over the software, but the thing that you might want to do is just check what you've got going on here. So I've selected microphone, and that's pretty much the device, which is the HIFI. And basically you can add more things here, and then I've got the volume. Volume is where you may, when you're recording, it may be too loud, which means that you are ending up with a bit of a mess. You might need to drop this down so to make sure that nothing clips. So I'm just going to minimize that. But what you will need to do is just have a play. Oh, before I forget, let me just go back to here. One thing I will say that I noticed with mine is if you go here, this is really important, make sure that you're having it as 16-bit. Don't have it as 32 because and especially if you've got a mixture of speech and music. It seems to like the speech, but not so much the music. It seems to be all over the place. So I would say leave it like that. Hit record. So here we go. So there's nothing going on there. Now there's no waves. Now look what happens. Now as you can see, what we've got is I'm recording something, and it's not the way I've set it up. If you've looked and you're thinking, why is it just one channel? It's because it was recorded like that. So I've listened, and the way you can tell is if you just hold your head, providing your speakers are connected to your device, hold your head up against the speaker. If you're getting sound from both speakers, then your setup's wrong. If you are just getting sound from one speaker, that means that it's set up correctly in this sense. But ideally you should be having both channels. So I'm just going to stop this. Yes, so the way this was, the cassette recording has only recorded it in one channel for what. Okay, so this recording is a bit messy because it was taking place on the back of a Land Rover. They were being interviewed on a Land Rover, so there's a lot of background noise going on. It may well be that you fancy fiddling around a bit, but if it sounds like what you've heard playing directly from the cassette, then there probably isn't much hope. Once you've got the recording done, you literally go to File, and what you'll need to do is first save it as a project, save as. So I'll do that. I'll save as test. You look up here, you'll also need to export. So you need to, what I've been doing is I've been doing MP3 as well as WAV. So if you do that, and you don't even have to change the name, okay. And then the same again, you do export, wave, and save again.